Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. My name is Bella. I am a presenter and hostess of this channel. Thank you for tuning in. The show is about to begin. I want you to give this video a cheeky little like and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. As you must agree that I am better looking than Marc Goldbridge,
Bloody
so
hell.
what are you waiting for? Just do it. Smash that like button now. Let's go Reds. Buckle up. Get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
This is Marc's remaining of the show, and he's going to talk about other news, right, Marc?
Yeah, there's been some other little rumblings in the club, and everyone probably heard about it before, and other people may have spoken on it. But at the same time, we can give it a little look and see what we have here in store for you guys. So, green and gold until the club is sold, and the clickbait media recycling. We don't like that stuff, But a little bits of news. While it's the international break, and some of our players are out and about with their national teams, and some are talking to the press, and some are saying weird things. So let's jump right into this. And who we have, the star of the show, our former captain. He's been out speaking to the press, and he has some very contradicting statements according to himself. It's like we all knew earlier that he was supposed to leave the club this summer, but he hasn't. And then we blame Ten Hag, we blame the ownership, but he's selling himself out here because he's saying, he's not getting enough game time. It's not near what he expects. He's not sure if he's going to start next game. And it's just, he backs himself so much. I keep wondering where he's getting the confidence. And now I would agree with him that he's had a good game the last two games. You know what I mean? But you can't now attribute the fact that you've only played, 10 games in the last year for the club and say, well, if you look at my back record on performances, I've been having a swell time. It makes no sense to me. So I can tell you one thing, maybe he didn't expect the club to be thinking it in a different way, because if I go to the next slide, not this one right here, you would see that, Eric Ten Hag is under pressure, right? And this term, United only have won 4 games and lost just as many in the Premier League. You know what I mean? It's been a tough start for the Reds. And the coach has been having a tough time, not just from on the field problems, but off the field problems. It's just been a little bit chaotic. And I won't blame him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these players have been here for 3+ years, and our managers only been here for 1. So he can't really be blamed on most of what's happening, but yes, he should take responsibility for some of it, because at the end of the day, he is the manager of the club. And as we can see, he has been taking precautionary measures in different ways. He's been exiling players. He's been switching up the starting 11. And maybe as a coach, he might be dependent on some players who did well for him last season who are not performing this season. But we can also say that, whose fault is that? Why won't you also depend on something that got you out of trouble before repeatedly? It's perfectly normal in my opinion, But at the same time, sometimes all ropes have an end, and it's coming to the end of the rope for some of these players. So let's move along again, and let's look at this. This is Casemiro, and he has been a wonder for us last season. He shored up the midfield, protected the back 4. He even contributed with a lot of goals and assists that took us to win games last season that we thought we were going to lose. But the £250,000 a week star is under some fire because he's been having bad form at the start of the season. And Eric Ten Hag is concerned because he depends on this guy. And everyone may say, well, Casemiro's been rubbish this season. He's been slow. He looks lazy. He's not been getting to the ball. But at the same time, we had a long season last season, 64 games, right? 10 more than Man City, 20 more than Arsenal, and the rest of the league. So everyone, and these players, they're only human. They're not robots. You know what I mean? They don't take fuel and start going again. They don't recharge and go again. They need to rest. So sometimes form dips. We saw it with Liverpool last season. who were horrible at the start for the first 4 months. And then after Christmas, they were like a rocket rising through the stratosphere. You know what I mean? Ended up finishing fifth place from being in 12th for most of the season. So while United might sit in 10th place right now, no game or team has ever won the league in October, guys. So let's be real. Let's keep it on. It's early, right? So let's move along. And right now, I'd like you to pay attention to this because although it might not be safe to say we should get rid of Marcus Rashford, it's safe to say that he needs a break. He needs to be taken out of the limelight. And the coach has taken a decision that he might have to sub Marcus Rashford for 1 to 3 games in order to get him to relax his mind and focus and understand that he may not have been doing the right things this season, or he may have been approaching it wrong. You know, the energy is there sometimes, the effort is there sometimes, but we need it there for 90 minutes a game. You know what I mean? So the young star, he is the talisman of our team. He is the face of our project. But at the end of the day, sometimes if you're not doing well, you're going to be replaced and you're going to have to sit on the bench sometimes, you know. And we do have a replacement, and Ten Hag is very keen on this youngster. And although he has not been getting all the starts, you know, we have seen him start the first 2 games. He didn't perform all that well. We've seen him got benched. Then we've seen him given a chance again in the team, and he's been performing really well, contributing with assists and goals, right? So maybe it's time for this youngster to get his chance. A lot of people think we should be, you know, protecting these young players and giving them time to be bed into the team. But I'm different because I seen a young Ronaldo, and even though he was bedding into a better team at the time, I could also say he was in a much more difficult league at the time. You know what I mean? At the same time, these players, we want them to win. We want them to play and to be their best. And they train at academies from a young age to all for this one purpose, to start to play professional football. So I say let the youngsters play, because at the end of the day, sink or swim, we need to see where their medal lies. And if they have the stance and the quality and the mentality to start for Manchester United. It's a difficult thing. So you need to make sure that these guys go through the ups and downs. And fans, I know we all love the youths. You know what I mean? But sometimes we are impatient because we are Manchester United at the end of the day. And the only result is a win. You know what I mean? But we are still in a rebuild. So, guys, we need to take this into consideration. And I'm going to move on to the star of the show for the last game, Scott McTominay. The Scott had a troubling game last night. You know, it could have been a brilliant game for his country. He scored a brilliant free kick from a really, really acute angle, you know. But VAR came in and ruled the game out because his teammate Hegby was standing in an offside position. Now, it's very controversial because, like the Garnacho offside for Manchester United, was separated by mere centimeters. And I say centimeters, but really a centimeter. So, you know, and the player did not even react to the ball, which is another important thing according to the rules of the game. If the player doesn't react, he's not part of the play. So, you know, tough one for the young Scot. They ended up losing the game 2-0 to Spain after that controversial call, but that's how football goes sometimes. And we'll move on to another one of ours. Oh, and this one is a surprise, guys, because there's just been some reports over the last few hours that we are still looking at the young Brazilian striker. And now Arsenal have also joined the race. So United are meeting currently with staff and board members to consider making a shock move for him before Arsenal snaps him up. And I know a lot of people have been talking about strikers like Osimhen, who's 150 million doing bits in Napoli in Italy and in the UCL last season. And also a lot of people are interested in the return of Ivan Toney, who has been banned for 6 months and should be returning in January, interested in whether Manchester United or Arsenal, where will he go? But as we see, Arsenal and Manchester United are currently competing for this young talent. So who knows where he might end up? And we can say that, you know, United aren't trying to do things differently. It's just that, as Mick has reported, the funds have not been there, you know. So
We're
we have
talking
been
about
short.
Marcus Leonardo, of course.
Yeah, I have to talk about Marcus Leonardo
Oh, yeah,
because we
yeah.
are very much interested in him. And the gaffer seems to be very heavy and keen on having a different type of forward join his new signing, Rasmus Højlund, to give a different blend in the attack. He always talks about fluidity. So I think his option is having two types of strikers that do two different things that make the forward line a different type of attack each time.
Yeah, Marcus
Mick, what are
Leonardo
your
was
thoughts?
one of these strikers that was clearly linked in this summer. We could have got him over the line for 17 million euros. He rejected actually to go to AC Milan. We did a full scouting report on Marcus Leonardo. So if you go into the video channel, go check it out. You can find it under the videos and player profile. Go check it out. Like, you know, he's actually done. He's a very young striker, but he debuted very early in his first team appearance. So if you compare likes to likes, how many caps he started 220 appearances within the first team. It's actually the same amount of 27-year Scott McTominay. It's a totally different striker that Marcus Rashford offers. He's a little bit reminds me of a prime, how do I say, he's a very low center gravity, fast, quick, has the skills of Anthony Martial, can play with his back against the goal, very good at link up play. But he reminds me of old Ronaldinho. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
old
he's got the
Ronaldo
flair
as
with
well.
him.
He's got that flair, right? So, yeah, they couldn't make the deal. So Santos decided to, like, you know, yeah, we need to sort of offload a lot of players. And there is rumors for January, so I do hope so. Another player that was also heavily scouted by the United department was actually Benjamin Sesko. So there's these two strikers as well. Now we already have that tall stature of striker, like Benjamin Sesko has the same traits as, you know, Rasmus Højlund. So we need this other type of striker, similar but very two-footed as well. So he's a very good dinker of the ball, the chip master, may I say. So, guys, let us know what you think. Marcus Leonardo, I think that would be something from the grassroots as well.
Exactly. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And, you know, I'd like fans to remember that, you know, we have a lot of scouts, and sometimes we don't see the actual work that these scouts do, but they're working and there's different things happening. Because if we go back and look, I'm going to show you two players. Another Brazilian, young Brazilian, Savio on the left here, who's currently at Granada. And this young star is really lighting up La Liga right now. And there are a lot of teams that are interested in, mostly in the Premier League, but also in the Bundesliga, like Bayern Munich and like Tottenham Hotspurs, Arsenal, Chelsea. They're all after this young star. He's been showing up in La Liga this season and has been very consistent with his form, contributing goals and assists so far. And I would also like to draw your attention to on the right to Jeremy Pino. The young Spaniard has the United scouting department bamboozled right now. They can't stop talking about him, you know. But this is another signing that might only be possible if Jadon Sancho leaves, or if we don't see a return that might shock people, like I spoke about yesterday of Mason Greenwood. So everyone just, you know, take it into account that the scouting department are working. Different things are going on behind the scenes. Ten Hag has a plan. You know, most importantly, he has a plan. And at the end of the day, we have a lot of players here that came from a mixed match of different managers and styles. And he's slowly trying to weed them out and get the team into one focus for the system that he has intended, which is a fluid system of attack. So, you know, keep your eyes and ears open. The January window might be crazy, especially with the news of the possible takeover. And if we was to get Qatar, can you imagine what our team would look like in January? What are your thoughts in the VR room? Come on, let's discuss. Mick, what do you think?
Wow, this is exciting. This is non-Manchester United way to go for the grassroots. But you know what? I'm a big advocate of grassroots players. Guys, just remember that before Ten Hag was a manager, he was actually a scout. And the players that he recruited into Ajax was all from the, you know, South American grassroots leagues. So he's got an eye for the price there. So it's all about developing for the future. It's not always getting the clear and obvious. Like, we're building a team for the future, right? So I'm excited, 100%. Yes, we can go out, and we've done it so many times before, to go out and getting the clear shirt seller, the clear and obvious Victor Osman 115, taken to the cleaners, and they end up taking the piss and walking away from the club like a Jadon Sancho. Never delivers. Why not just get those hungry players that come from the streets of Argentina, Brazil, that wants to make a name for themselves? It works. We've seen Julian Alvarez at City. We've seen Casado. They come in and they're warriors. They will fight. They will go through the brick walls. We don't want these overpaid, complacent players.
And while we're on the topic of South America, I'd say Moises Caicedo had a brilliant game last night in World Cup qualifying. He had 2 assists as Ecuador beat. Oh, Colombia. Ecuador beat Colombia yesterday,
Did they?
I believe. Yeah. 2-1.
Big up,
and
David, and thank you for your birthday wishes.
Casemiro didn't have a great show yesterday at Brazil as Brazil captain, as Brazil drew 1-1 with Venezuela yesterday as well. So the South American thing is heating up. And guys, I'm from that side of the world initially, so I would bring you some news about these things because I'm always looking at it.
Can you tell people where you're from, though, mate?
I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, so I'm from the Caribbean,
Ooh,
which is
the
right
Caribbean
off
vibes.
the shores of South America. So like watching Brazilian football, CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, these qualifications, I live for those things. You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
Manchester United just happened to be my favorite team because, as we all know, Dwight York is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, yes. What's next on your team sheet here, like in terms of potential recruits?
Oh, this is a very, very interesting thing, and it's been all over Germany yesterday. Like a lot of German reporters have been talking about this yesterday, and I had to bring it up. Ten Hag apparently has a sweet spot for this youngster, and his name is Otigaku. If I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but his first name is even more difficult for me to pronounce. So, guys, please forgive me for this. But this youngster at Schalke has been doing the most. And when I say the most, he's been the brightest spark in this team for the last season as they returned to Bundesliga 1 competition. And he's always been performing 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. He's been their brightest star, and he's only 16 or 17 years old. Could we believe that this might be a new change for our midfield? Because I have to say, from preseason, Ten Hag is looking at the youth. I have to say that some of the older guys might, only a few of them might be left when we look at the end of the season with transfers and stuff and how things go. Because as we see in preseason, the youth were playing his product. They were playing his type of football, and they were doing well in games against bigger teams, more experienced teams. So this is the way forward, and this is one of the new midfield starters that's emerging in the interest of our manager for coming to the club. And he's going to start by, changing the dynamics of the youth team and preparing them to come into the first team. And the problem I know fans think, we haven't seen much of the youth come through, but we also have to remember we recently changed football style, and the whole theology is different right now. So we went from a team that plays more of a counter-attacking football style to a team that now is going to play a possession-based football time. So at some of the young athletes that we had at the academy, they may not be able to adapt, or it might not be best for their development to go into that style. So we are going to change some of those players and bring in some players that already naturally fit the system so they can immediately progress to the first team, like on a conveyor belt style, So fans, don't be too stressed. Don't be too worried. Have a little patience. The youth are coming through. We see Kobe Manu. We see Garnacho. We even see young Dan Gore Jr. the other night in the Carabao Cup, and I look forward to seeing them again. You have seen Hannibal, who I'm not a fan of, but he's been making a fan out of me when he performs well.
Big up, Mark. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys as our viewers as well. Like, do you think this is the right path for the team development? Like, to look at the young youth, hungry players. There's something for the future, not just the clear and obvious shirt seller. For me, it sounds like we are doing something that we have never done before. It's just to go and scout properly, right? What we're presenting here is potential players, right? but we definitely need to strengthen the centre back position. What you reckon, Mark? Do you think, because we've been doing some reports regarding Silva, Todibo, and stuff like that, like, you know,
And
at the current stage, guys, where do we need to strengthen? Do we need to strengthen all of the shop, or do we go segment by segment?
well, I would say we go segment by segment, but as we currently see our manager, he thinks more in a more dynamic fashion. And when I say dynamic, it's a positive and a negative, you know, because when you do a kind of dynamic shift, you cause different things to collide, you know, old styles, new styles, mentality, personalities. And I think he's doing it in a way that he wants to shake up players, maybe possibly create something different with some players. You know what I mean? So it's a good thing. But I think we seen last season he focused on defense to build the foundation. So I think he's going to come in with defenders as the first matter of business. Although it might be cost effective to go the other route, because as we know, like the defenders that we've been looking at, I mentioned yesterday, Goncalo Ignacio, he's brilliant and left footed, very good on the ball, very technically sound. He could read the game very well, but he's also going to cost us somewhere in the region of 70 million. So it's like, do we go that way? Are we
I think,
prepared to? Do we
I
have the
think.
funding?
No, but you know, I think the right way is to go the Brighton way as well. Like, you know, you have, you know, proper footballing structure. You're bringing young, hungry players that can make a mark, that you can sort of sell on for, like, you know, triple for triple the price. Like, you know, even Ragnar came in and recommended players that are now, like, you know, going for 100 million, like 70 million. And these players were players like Caicedo. Who else was it? Like, you know, Alvarez was a Julian Alvarez, the striker that went to City as well. So, you know, it is to take a risk, but it's a low hanging fruit risk in a way. But one thing that you can get is a passion, somebody that's willing to run through brick walls for you, like, you know, like a Licha, like all that stuff. So I'm excited if we do that, because this is Manchester United's way has always been bringing, like, you know, the young British talent from the academies and stuff like that. But, you know, we are not the old Manchester United. We are the new Manchester United. That's, you know, we're trying to find out our new culture, new playing style under Erik ten Hag. So, you know, yes, we've been struggling this season due to injuries. Maybe we don't have the right personnel that can play that style of intensity football, because it demands a lot of intensity, high pressing, you know, attack as a team, defend as a team, play as a team. It's all about, like, you know, playing as a team, applying his rules and principles. So at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm excited, but the proof will be in the pudding, wouldn't it be, Mark, as well, how we end up.
Exactly.
Are we going to have money in January to spend? Are we going to have new owners that will clear the debt and eliminate a little bit of that FFP so we can spend some money in January? But guys, let us know in the comments what you think. Where would you strengthen right now if you were Ten Hag? Would you go to buy in a centre back, considering that we have injury-prone Varane currently sitting? Lindelof looks like he's also carrying a knock, which is not so good. Although Sweden won yesterday 3-1 in their internationals, some of our players did well.
So I hope you enjoyed it today. And
hope you enjoyed the content.
So I hope you all can wish him a happy birthday, as I am wishing you one now. And I hope he has an amazing day. And, you know, glory, Manchester United.
Glory. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone that's tuning in, and thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you, Mark, again for inviting me to be the guest of my own kingdom. But I do hope, guys, make sure you pencil in at 8:30 UK time, 9:30. Mark will be here holding up the fort, delivering you, you know, everything about Manchester United off the pitch and on the pitch. I'm going to go and enjoy my birthday. And until then, guys, stay beautiful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give Mark his roses. Smash a like for Mark. And we will wish you a fantastic day. And how do we end this? Big up to all of you. We say peace, love, and onana. Or peace, love, or banana.
Hey, Bella.
Oh.
Close the show for us.
Bella, can you close? Have a good day, people. Bella, close the shop.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always show your appreciation to sponsor our channel by clicking below the video title, where you will see the heart icon with the text saying, "Thanks." Or you could buy me a cheeky little coffee by scanning this barcode or visit this link to buy me a virtual coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. Remember, glory, glory, Man United, Glazers out. It is green and gold until we are announced and sold. That was all from me. I wish you a good day and a great match experience, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.